And I'm so disappointed in myself that I hurt her.
Ooh, he is going through it, that's for sure. Hey guys, hola, hello, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, Taylor here. In case you don't know who that was at the beginning of the video, that was James Charles. He's a massive influencer and creator on YouTube, and over the past weekend, lost everything. Lost 3 million subscribers, his ways to make money and everything, and he was one of the largest creators. So it's been very fascinating. I've been following it. You should definitely check it out. I don't normally care about celebrity drama and stuff like that at all, but it's just been quite interesting and fascinating watching how much he lost kind of over, you know, this thing where they're saying he's a predator and everything. It's been very weird and interesting. It's odd that this is kind of the thing that caused him to lose his career, but I don't know, I found the whole thing fascinating. So if you have time after this video, look that up. His name is James Charles. It's everywhere. It's very easy to find. So yeah. Anyway, so on to today's video. So I really enjoyed making the last Mandela Effect video, and so I wanted to create another one. I kind of want to get a series going of my top 5 Mandela effects and stuff. And I mean, really, because I need answers. I don't understand what's happening, and I want to understand. I want to know what's going on. I've been watching a bunch of stuff, and there's a lot of the debunking things involve this hive mind conspiracy of one person says one thing, and then the next person says the same thing, and because they copied them, and then that person says the same thing, and so the other person copies them, and then everyone thinks the same lie. But that doesn't make sense, because that's not really the way that, hive mind is a real thing, sure. That's how you have cults and stuff like that. But it doesn't make sense for if I say something wrong, or if I say the wrong name, or the wrong line, or something like that, for you to kind of just copy me, and then for everybody else to copy you. You know, nobody along the way corrects you. You know, you hear Luke, I am your father so many times, and not one uber Star Wars fan is no, it's no. He never said. Come on, at some point, you're gonna interact with someone who would correct you. So it's just, and I'm not even gonna get into you know, the stuff that was created for it, and the merchandise and everything like that, but I'm just saying the hive mind, I feel that's a stretch, just because it's weird that so many people, such massive amount of people remember things a certain way and the same way. I could see, it'd be one thing, because I feel hive mind would be more like telephone, where I said something wrong and then you heard it, but then you kind of said it in a different sort of way, and then that other person heard it, but then they kind of said it in a different way, so when it gets all the way back to you, it's a completely different message. That would make more sense. Then I'd be okay, it's kind of a hive mind mentality of people just misremembering stuff. But for random people that have never interacted, that don't know each other, that have nothing to do with each other, for them to all believe and think the same thing, especially so passionately, that's what you also have to look at, is that memory is such a fragile thing for people. You know, for human beings, memory is such a fragile thing in the way that it works, and the way that you store memories, and how important it is to you. And the more emotionally attached to a memory you are, then the more obviously you're going to display that and show that. And the more emotionally attached you are to a memory, allows the memory to be stronger in your mind. You know, it allows you to recall it because you have an emotional attachment to it. And a lot of these things, a lot of these Mandela effects are from a lot of, mine and a lot of people's childhoods. So there's a lot of memories attached with your childhood. So, I mean, that's why there's people that are so passionate that it's this way. And yeah, you can be passionate about a lot of different stuff, even stuff that's incorrect. But I'm saying, though, it's not likely, it's extremely unlikely for such a huge, broad, generalized amount of people to believe the same thing the same exact way and be so passionate about it and just be this is what it is, this is true 100%. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if it's CERN, I don't know if it's parallel universes. I don't know if it's multiverse. I don't know if it's the Matrix. If we're in a simulation. I don't know what it is, but I know that it is something. I know that I know that I personally, speaking from an I statement, have not misremembered this many things throughout my own history. This many things that I've experienced. I know that I haven't misremembered them. So that's what I'm gonna say on that. So let's go ahead and get started with my top 5 Mandela effects. So number 5. So this one is interesting because I grew up watching this and I saw it, I don't know, maybe a million times, and that is the spelling of Looney Tunes. Apparently, it's always been spelled T-U-N-E-S, as in a tune, a song, and not T-O-O-N-S. Who remembers that? Because I sure don't. And like, the thing with that one is that why would it be spelled T-U-N-E-S? Like, yeah, they had some songs on there. Occasionally Bugs Bunny would sing a song, or Porky Pig, or something like that, sure. But it wasn't like it was like a musical show. So why would you call it tunes, implying that there's like a tune, a song, or whatever, a part of the show? That doesn't make any sense. Whereas tunes, T-O-O-N-S, was what they were. They were cartoons. Looney Tunes. They were crazy cartoons. That was what the show was. So that one really gets me because I would have noticed had it said tunes, like T-U-N-E-S. But it's always said tunes. I always remembered the 4 O's, L-O-O-N-E-Y, T-O-O-N-S. I don't remember L-O-O-N-E-Y, T-U-N-E-S. No, like, no. That one just surely doesn't make sense. Like, that's just terrible branding, terrible name. Like, when you look at it, it doesn't even look right. And I wish that I had, like, some of, like, my Looney Tunes, like, VHS tapes or something like that. But, unfortunately, you know, I don't. But, I mean, like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Just thinking about the name, just common sense perspective of branding, it does not make sense to call them tunes, T-U-N-E-S, like, at all. There's not enough music and singing in Looney Tunes for that to be warranted at all, like, period. So, that one, big no on me, like, no. Hey guys, Future Taylor here. So while I was actually editing this video and doing research for this Mandela effect, I came across a TV show that I actually completely forgot about, which is Tiny Toon Adventures. Tiny Toon Adventures was a spin-off of the ever-popular Looney Tunes series that came out in the 90s and was meant to be the next generation of Looney Tunes. And as you can see, they're all based and modeled on all of the characters that were in Looney Tunes. What's odd to me is Tiny Toon Adventure is spelled T-O-O-N instead of T-U-N-E-S. Now, this was actually like a collaboration with Warner Brothers and Steven Spielberg, so the people who created the cartoons and the ever-popular cartoon franchise, they would obviously know how to spell the names of their cartoon and of their show. And the fact that it was spelled T-O-O-N-S instead of T-U-N-E-S, like, really shows me that, like, yeah, I think that there's something going on. Because, I mean, clearly, like, this is clearly... I'm just saying it's got to be like something, right? I mean, why would you misspell that? Especially if the intention for this is to be the next generation of Looney Tunes. Why would you rebrand it with a different name? You know, why would you rebrand it and spell it T-O-O-N-S? So I just wanted to include that since I just found that out. So, you know, do with that information what you will.
We're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony. And in this cartoony, we're invading your TV.
Number 4. Now this one's a big one as well because this one goes back to my childhood as it does with a lot of people, and that is Snow White. Now, what do we all remember the evil witch saying when she looks into the mirror? She says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all," right? Well, apparently she's always said, "Magic mirror." I don't remember that. I remember mirror, mirror, because I remember it being the exact same word. I remember her saying, "Mirror, mirror." So that one again is like, magic mirror could work. Like, I'm not saying that like that there's anything wrong with that. The only thing I will say though is that technically the person there's like a person trapped in the mirror, if I remember correctly. So it's not necessarily a magic mirror. She trapped someone in there. So that, you know, I mean, maybe the mirror could still be magical, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of like lore or whatever, that like technically it doesn't seem like a magic mirror so much as like a mirror that someone's trapped in. So it'd be odd to say magic mirror if it's not really a magic mirror. But anyway, I remember her specifically saying "mirror, mirror on the wall," and when you listen to it and you go back and you listen to that part, it doesn't even sound right. Like the way that she says "magic mirror," it just, no, it sounds wrong. It sounds wrong. And I mean, mirror, mirror was all over merchandise. It was all over everything. Like, I'm pretty sure it was on like the VHS case when the movie came out. It's, again, one of those things where why would they spend even a cent of their marketing budgets and their PR budget and their merchandising budget to put an incorrect statement on there, you know? Like, again, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, that's stupid. It's a waste of money and it's a waste of time. So, I mean, yeah, it's, again, like, it's always been mirror, mirror. I remember mirror, mirror. A bunch of people remember that. When Snow White came out, people were going around saying it and everything. And that's the other thing, is that a lot of these, I remember when they came out and when they happened. So I was in school and things like that. So I mean, I had friends that like played these games and emulated these things and said these things. So it's like, I'm not just misremembering like the line from the movie. Like, I'm also thinking about at school when girls would say that into the mirror. And, you know, when people would emulate and do and say these things. Like, I'm remembering, you know, I'm remembering everything to do with it, not just the movie, the title or whatever. Like, I'm remembering all of the other memories and stuff with it too. I'm remembering people saying this and doing this, like, right after it came out. So, so like, how do you explain that? My memory's not replacing all of the other memories of people saying it with, you know, mirror, mirror instead of magic mirror. Like, that's not the way your memory works.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. You said you had the answer to it all.
Magic mirror, how can I look like a douchebag today?
Well, Kevin, I would say, first of all, don't shave or shower.
Don't scoop beat meets Latin freak, and you don't quit, and you don't stop. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the snickers, don't they? It's the scheme music.
Bathe in the magic mirror, come from the farthest space. Through wind and darkness I summon thee. Speak. Let me see thy face.
What wouldst thou know, my queen?
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Famed is thy beauty, majesty.
Number 3, the Monopoly Man. Now, who remembers him having a monocle? Because I sure do. Like, that was always Monopoly Man's thing. He had a little monocle, and he had like his little money bags and whatnot. He was dressed in like a tux. That was his thing, was the monocle. I'm fairly certain he was probably like the first person I ever saw with like a monocle, to be honest. Like, I mean, not that he's a person, but the first thing, whatever, cartoon, that had a monocle. And yet, apparently, he's never had the monocle. Ever. Like, the Monopoly Man has never had a monocle. That doesn't... doesn't make sense at all, like period. And what's crazy is that there are several TV shows, cartoons, movies, and everything where they have people that are like him and make references to him and whatnot. Like, I mean, one of my favorite ones is like in the Jim Carrey movie where he, like, you know, calls the guy wearing a monocle the Monopoly Man. So, I mean, and it's because he had like a monocle on. And we used to play Monopoly all the time when I was growing up, like all the time. That was like our go-to game. I was like really good at it. I always won. Not to brag, but I know how to buy up them properties in Charlotte. But I'm just saying, like, I used to play Monopoly all the time. So I used to see the little Monopoly Man constantly. Like, I mean, all over the box and everything. So, like, that one's such a big one because it's like, and everybody remembers him having a monocle. And like, the thing with that one, with something like that, is that you're not misremembering like a word or a phrase that you could have misheard. Like, that's the way he looked, you know. Why would your memory wouldn't fill in a monocle? And I feel like as a kid, if my memory was gonna fill in anything, it'd be glasses. Like, monocle would not be where my brain would have gone as a kid, you know, for him. So, I mean, like, that one gets me every time, because if you look at the Monopoly Man now, he just looks weird. Like he's just missing a monocle, and it just looks, ugh, it looks wrong. It looks like everything else. It just is so wrong.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and you must be the Monopoly guy. Hey, thanks for the free parking.
Number 2, and this one, of course, we had to do because of the latest movie that just came out, Detective Pikachu. I'm so excited, I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet, I haven't had time, but I plan on seeing it this weekend. Anyway, so this Mandela effect is that Pikachu's tail changed colors, that there used to be a little black tip on the end of his tail right here. Focus. Focus. Why won't you focus? Either way, he was supposed to have a black tip right here. I don't remember this. I don't think that it's a Mandela effect. I very clearly remember Pikachu's tail being like this, always. I tried to look for my old Pokemon cards because I have them somewhere, but I think that they're at my other place. But I had, like I used to collect Pokemon cards when I was a kid, and I have basically all the Pokemon. But I couldn't find like the book. I couldn't find like a book that had a Pikachu in it, which is really weird. I found another book with a bunch of holographics in it and whatnot, but couldn't find one with Pikachu, so that's annoying. But I always remember him being yellow, and I remember the brown that was on the back, but I do not remember him having a black tip on his tail. That looks weird to me. Like, I don't remember that at all. So I do not think that this is a Mandela effect. Like, I think that he has always had. I think what people are confused by is that the tips of his ears are black, and sometimes the way he stood, his tail would kind of like be behind his ear. So if you're looking at him from the front, it could look like, you know, you see his tail kind of rising up and then you see this black tip or whatever. Or maybe people kind of just thought that it made sense that his ears are black on the end, so his tail should be black on the end too. I don't know. I think that like Pichu and Pulse and Minus and whatnot, I think they have like different colored tips on their tail as well. So maybe people thought that they were confusing like those other like newer generation Pokemon with like Pikachu. But as far as I'm concerned, his tail has always been yellow with the brown at the beginning. It also seems kind of weird for them to have like brown, then yellow, then black, you know? So I'm just saying, like, yeah, I clearly remember it being this way and no other way. I played all the Pokemon games, and I played Pokemon Snap, and I took several pictures of Pikachu. And every picture of Pikachu that I took in Pokemon Snap back in the day all had a yellow tail. Like, period. I used to love Pokemon Snap. That was such an underrated game, but I loved Pokemon Snap. Really did. So number 1, and our final one. So this one, you guys are in for a little bit of a treat because it's actually going to be a 2-for-1 because we are doing The Wizard of Oz. one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen it. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've seen it. It was also one of my mom's favorite movies, so we watched it a lot. As a kid, I watched it a lot. I watched it a lot growing up. I love The Wizard of Oz. I know all the songs by heart. Like, love that movie. Anyway, so there are actually two Mandela effects in this. The first one being that in the scene where they are all walking down the forest and it's getting darker, you see the Scarecrow brandish a gun. Where did that come from? Because I do not ever remember the Scarecrow having a gun. Period. Like, ever. And it's never seen throughout the entire movie for the rest of the time. They're walking down the forest, and all of a sudden he's holding a gun and clutching Dorothy, and then it's gone. That is a huge no. Like, huge no. The Scarecrow never had a gun. Where was he gonna keep a gun? Like, they got him from the thing, the pole. Where was he keeping the gun? It's not like he had pockets. Like, I mean, was it stuffed in his hay? Like, no, where was the gun? And then all of a sudden it just disappeared. And I feel like the gun would have been useful later on in the movie. I'm just saying. So if you had a gun, you know, it would have been something that could have been used. And on top of that, if you look at the rating for The Wizard of Oz, it came out in 1939, and it was rated PG. There's zero way that had a gun in it would have been rated PG. I think that I don't think many movies came out with weapons in it at all at that time, and if they did, they were all above that rating. Because a weapon, you know, obviously they're gonna take that. It's not like today, like back then, they didn't want children to see that sort of thing. So it would have never gotten the PG rating with having a gun in it. And you know, going into color like that and everything, that would be very disturbing to a lot of people. They were already disturbed by the movie, seeing colors and everything else like that. And to incorporate a gun, no, it would have been mass hysteria. Like, for back then, for there to have been a gun. Like, there's no way that at all that the Scarecrow had a gun. Like, period. I don't care what you say. Like, I've never, ever seen him with a gun. Period.
I'd turn back if I were you. Don't you believe in spooks? No. Why don't... So
that's the first part. The second part is a really weird one as well, which is that when the witch goes to release all of her monkeys or whatever to go get them, she says, "Fly, fly, fly," instead of "Fly, my pretties, fly," which is the way that everyone remembers it. "Fly, my pretties, fly," as she's like sending them out of the window. But now it's just "Fly, fly, fly." No, that doesn't even sound right. And again, we go back to the merch. There's merchandise that was created that said "Fly, my pretties, fly." I'm fairly certain that's one of the quotes on the box as well. I'll need to look and see if I can find it. But I mean, like, no, she's always said "Fly, my pretties, fly." That's like a very, very, very famous quote. Like, and now it's, and even when you listen to her say "Fly, fly, fly," it just sounds so wrong. Like, just so incomplete and like, ugh, like, why bother, you know? Like, why say anything if that's all you're gonna say? So, yeah, no, that one, like, I'm like, no, it's "Fly, my pretties, fly." I remember it very well. Like, I remember that quote. Hell, I've said that quote. I've found ways in which to, like, use that quote and stuff. So, like, no, it's "Fly, my pretties, fly." Like, period. I don't, again, I've seen the movie so many, like, you don't understand how many times I've seen The Wizard of Oz. Like, I know it, and, like, no. No.
Fly, my pretties, fly!
Fly, my pretties, fly, fly. house and bring me that girl and her dog. Do what you like with the others, but I want her alive and unharmed. They'll give you no trouble, I promise you that. I've sent a little insect on ahead to take the fight out of them. Hey, there's a pair of those ruby slippers. I want those most of all. Now fly! Fly!
So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you enjoyed all the different Mandela effects that I had for this one. And I want to keep this going, so, you know, like, if you have Mandela effects to share, please share them below and I'll try to see if I can cover them. I'm obviously looking up ones of my own and everything else like that as well, but I'm always interested to see what other people think and the Mandela effects that really like surprised you and like and kind of like put you into this conspiracy world and like, you know, what you remember being differently and everything else like that. So comment below, let me know. Let me know which one of these Mandela effects shocked you the most, whether it was Pikachu's tail, or the Wizard of Oz, or Snow White, or whatever. You know, comment below and let me know. And also, you know, let me know like what Mandela effects you want me to cover next. I do want to make this a series, so I'm going to try to make it like a top 5 Mandela effect sort of thing. I can also make videos talking about it, like what's causing it, or what could be the reasoning for it or whatever. And there might be some other like conspiracy theories or something I want to cover as well, because making these kinds of videos is fun. Like I do like making the travel videos and the review videos, but these are actually quite fun to make too. So I don't know, just like, you know, let me know what you guys want and I will try to like, you know, give you guys what you want, obviously. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope that you liked this video. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Be sure to hit the little bell notification next to the subscribe button so that way you're notified as soon as I release new content. And I'll see you guys around the world. Bye.